All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachaha, Kodash. I want to give double honors to that apostle. Now there's a great millstone, who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, sincere Akim, that are pushing this truth all over the four corners of the earth, week in, week out, in all truth and sincere. This is the brother Mattathiah from the GMS Virginia camp, coming to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being a true, holy, powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai being the true, holy, powerful name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus in Christ. Bahashem is in the name. And Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. All right, I want to do a response, add my 2 cents to this video from Anton Daniels entitled Black Men Are, quote, Black Men Are Pissing Me Off. Barack Obama mad we're not supporting Kamala Harris, voting for Trump. So you have, these Jake men that are not with Kamala Harris and are going to the side of Donald Trump, okay, or just neutral and are not with Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, and they look at the government as for what it is. All right, and I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play various parts of this video and bring out some scriptures as well. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly. So, at this point, Obama pulls up to a campaign stop to Kamala Harris's headquarters. I believe this is in Pennsylvania. And this is before he goes on to do a rally and a speech. So the Democrats have basically pulled out the big guns. They said, look, we not getting the traction that we think that we are. These polls is lying to the American people, trying to make it seem like the race is closer than it really is. Trump is absolutely trouncing her all across the board. J.D. Vance just got done beating up on Tim Walz inside of a debate. And they're concerned that we don't have the same enthusiasm that Kamala Harris can generate versus what he experienced in 2008 and in 2012. And so Obama feels the need to come and speak directly to the brothers, to black men. He's never spoken to us before, never had any enthusiasm for us unless we were voting for him. Now they feel as though they can bamboozle us and hit us with the ooh-op shebang, the okie doke, a second time around with a second candidate, and we're supposed to be enthusiastic about voting for Kamala Harris based off of identity politics instead of what's best for our country.
Yeah, and once again, they're pulling that identity card with Kamala Harris. They pulled that identity card when Barack Obama was on the scene and was voted for president. That he was a so-called black man, that he went through the tribulations and was brought up, like you so-called black people, man. He was in the struggle, and he had to come up through the ranks, and he fought hard, and now he, achieved that success, and they pushed that notion to the people that you can be all you can be if you work hard. So they're pulling that same card with Kamala Harris, and neither Barack Obama nor Kamala Harris are Israelites, man. All right, Barack Obama's a Hamite, and Kamala Harris, it's first it was evidence coming out that she was an Indian, and now there's heavy evidence coming out that she's a so-called Jew, that she's one of the Ishes. Okay, so neither one of these are of our nation, man. And the scriptures speak about not setting another nation over you, man. And you got Jake waking up, okay? And Barack Obama's predominantly, and he's predominantly addressing the so-called black men, all right? Because you got a high volume of, men that are, not with Kamala Harris, man, okay? Because as they look at it, Kamala Harris was in the various different meetings, the various different, councils when which Joe Biden is still the president, but when Joe Biden was making these various different decisions for the nation, man. Okay, so she was with the shit, so to speak, man. These people are, or I should say, they're trying to push that, Kamala Harris is new on the scene, and she's already been on the scene. She's already been in those rooms when Joe Biden was making certain decisions, and she had her say so in that, and she supported it. Okay, well, she still supports all the decisions that Joe Biden made, man. Okay, let's continue on and let's bring out some more. Let's listen to some more.
Instead of what's best for our family, instead of what's best for our people and our neighborhoods. And Democrats have been running this country as far as being in the White House the last 12 of the 16 years, including times that he was in there. His enduring message was to the alphabet community, but we gonna get through it. We gonna play this whole thing. And he knows the cameras is on, so this is not hidden. And he's speaking specifically to us black men. Let's see what the message is.
And concerning that alphabet community, Obama, did a whole lot for that whole alphabet community, man. And a lot of the things that Kamala Harris is speaking of that she's going to do if she's elected president is geared towards the alphabet community. It's not geared toward the poor. It's not geared toward the struggling. All right? It's not geared to the people who are actually in need.
And say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you,
then how come she ain't marry one of us? Don't worry about it. We'll get there. Obama is our new punching bag. They wanted to parade him around like he's the Messiah. Let's let him cook. We're going to get some more context before we stop this and read.
Yeah, so Obama said he's speaking to the so-called black men, and he's saying that this woman, why aren't you voting and supporting a woman that grew up like you, who went through the same struggles as you, when that's all bullshit. These presidents, these government leaders, all their history and upbringing is really fabricated, and they're actually bred to be the next person in that position, or potentially put in that position, man. Okay, and a lot of the things that they say that they went through, and even their colleges, and even some of the degrees they push that they have achieved, are also all a lot of it is fabricated, man. To a certain degree. Let's continue on.
Back to it.
understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes.
Now he's trying to stroke those strings to you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That she went through the pains, the struggles, the hardships, the same as you did. This is one of your people, and you got to rally behind her and support this quote-unquote black woman, right? But hey, people ain't with it. Hey, Esau's witchcraft is not carrying the same force that it used to upon the people, man. So they're trying all their tricks. They're trying everything they can to rally up the minds of these people, predominantly, gearing towards you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. But people are stepping back, man. Let's go to Isaiah 47:1 real quick. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." This is speaking about America. It says, "Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." So people are no longer looking at America as the place you want to be, the land of milk and honey, the land where you can come be all you can be. You can chase that ladder of success, the land, the home of the brave, the land of the free. Even these other nations, man, and these Edomites, man. You got a lot of Edomites that ain't even voting, man. They're like, man, this is all a sham. This is all nothing but theater. And all these governments, and it's like all these government officials, these people in politics, the people in the White House, all right, they're nothing but good actors, man. All right, and they take orders from these wicked elites. Okay, let's continue on.
From those experiences, we've had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieve the second highest office in the land.
Given to
And
us.
is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers, our fathers, and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to
Rent prices of things are constantly going up. You know, so what has been done by any of these presidents to bring down or put a cap on inflation, to bring down prices of goods, you know, that have done things to help you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? None of them, all right? It has gotten worse. And you still have a high percentage of our people who are still lost in the sauce. They're lost in the drama, okay? They're lost in the scams, the schemes, the gimmicks, okay? They're lost in the music, man. Real quick, let's go to Proverbs, the 29th chapter, man. Because that's what these presidents do. You know, that's what they're trained to do, to put out all these promises that, you know, change is going to come. We're going to bring down inflation. We're going to help, you know, bring down the housing crisis. We're going to deal with this. We're going to deal with that. All right. And people right now are looking at it as a, you know, this is all bullshit. We don't believe you anymore, man. Okay. You got a lot of so-called black men that are siding with Donald Trump. They're like, you know what? We're going to go out here and vote for Trump because this woman, she got screws loose. And, you know, just like Anton Daniel said, she basically was set up in this position, man. Okay? Which you could say that about all of these so-called presidents. But nevertheless, let's go to Proverbs 29th chapter. And let's go down to the second verse. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. The people aren't rejoicing. The people are angry. They're mad. They're going through these various different things concerning these hurricanes, and the government is saying, well, you're on your own, man. You should have saved up. You should have saved your money. Kamala Harris said you should have saved your money and prepared for a natural disaster, because we ain't got none. We ain't got it. We can offer you this $750, and now there's information coming out that people are getting denied for the $750, man. So the various things that are happening in this whole election campaign is turning people back even more. People are stepping back even more, man. Okay? You got a lot of these so-called American citizens that are like, you know what? I'm not voting, man. You know? They're looking at both of the candidates, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Okay? As snakes, which they are. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So the people are in mourning right now, man. And Obama's trying to, you know, throw out shots to you so-called black men. Why you ain't supporting this woman? You know? And, hey, just like the scripture says, the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. And you got women in high-level positions in America, man. And Esau has a war against masculinity. At least towards you men. He's trying to emasculate you women and give you, you know, empower the women's movement and feminism and all that. And the majority of people that are voting for Kamala Harris are women.
making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act. So everybody's got health care. Cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? But, you know, Cousin Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of.
Yeah, because Jake is waking up to the bullshit, man. You know, you got all different types of podcasters and the podcasters concerning the manosphere and the red pill community that are pushing that masculine vibration upon men, and men are you know, coming back to their senses, so to speak, man. And they see how they've been lied to. They're seeing what's going on, how these women have been put up on a pedestal. You know, they've gone through various different things behind a woman, man. Which, you know, Obama actually makes a statement, a profound statement. Let me see. I think he's about to say. Let's continue on. You know, concerning women being behind you, which these women weren't behind us, man. All right, these women were used by Esau to make, you know, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American men lives harder. Okay, let's continue on.
Having a woman as president.
He really think that he really spitting right now. He really think that this is 2008. He really think that this is his era. This is his generation where he can talk to us and we supposed to get inspired by your hope message when we can look at what happened over the last 3.5 years and compare it to what happened in 2016 through 2020. And when I do a compare and contrast, I realize that the opportunities were greater and we had better times than what we've experienced over the last 3.5 years. Hey, family, black people, black men in particular. We gonna use the whole you don't want a woman to lead you trope to then justify you and use reverse psychology to get you to go out there and vote for a person that is completely incompetent. Completely incompetent. She admitted that she'd be no different than what Biden has implemented and that she was in the room for overwhelming majority of the decisions, especially the important ones, that's happened over the last 3.5 years. So we supposed to ignore the record inflation. We supposed to ignore all of these proxy wars. We supposed to ignore what's happening in Israel and Ukraine. We supposed to ignore just what recently happened with the Hurricane Helene situation. We're supposed to ignore the migrant crisis and just vote for her just because she black and she a woman and because she Democrat and because that's what our parents did before us that led us down into this trap and this problem area in the first place. This is y'all fault. Y'all have controlled the White House the last 12 of the 16 years. And the only time that we had troops come.
Yeah, you know, Anton Dan, he says a lot of good things, but, you know, he's lost in the sauce as well, man. He really don't know what's going on. You know, these wicked elites control what goes on in the White House. They set the laws. They employ these presidents, these governors. They give them the instructions. Okay, so they're nothing but high level pawns in the game. All right. Real quick, and I believe Obama's about to make that statement I was referring to. But real quick, let's go to Sirach, the 12th chapter, and let's go down to verse 16. It says, "An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit." That's what Obama's doing right now. He's speaking sweetly. This woman, she went through the struggle. She's trying so hard. She's trying to help the community. She's worried about you so-called black people. All right? She's worried about the condition that you're in. You know, they speak these words, but their actions are very, very different. And their mindset is contrary. They know that they got to go out and say these things. They got to persuade the masses. They got to say, rally up these people, so to speak. But at the end of the day, they know that they're a part of an agenda that is completely against the overall well-being, the success of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says, "An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood." Okay? And they know what's on the agenda. They know what's on the list. Trouble, all hell, civil war, race wars. Okay? You know, concentration camps. You being thrown out your house, your community. You know? All hell breaking loose in these streets, man. Okay? It says, "If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee." That's what they're doing. They're putting on a good act. All right? These so-called presidents and these different people in the White House, they're different leaders that are set up on TV and the media. They deserve Academy Awards because they're very, very good actors. All right? Verse 18, "He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance." That's right. They say all these things, but as soon as they get elected and put in that position, they don't do none of the things that they said they were going to do. Okay? And then now the people that voted for them, you know, after a year or two, they're looking for the next person they can vote to bring in change because it's not going as they saw fit. Okay, let's continue on in this video.
Coming home. The only time that we had unprecedented peace, the only time that we had prosperity, the only time that we got a tax cut, the only time we started really talking about closing off our borders and building better walls, the only time that we was really, really dedicated to renegotiating the North America Free Trade Agreement and putting tariffs on China in order to save some of our industries as our manufacturing base continued to leave the United States of America was when Trump was in office. Now, we supposed to simp out for women because what? Because you said so?
You're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for them.
No, we not. No, we not. We telling you directly to your face. We identify with masculinity. We don't always 100% agree with every single thing that Trump says, but guess what? He says what he feels and he means what he says, and we not willing to deal with another chameleon or person to sell you hopes and dreams, don't have no way to pay for it, and continue to throw us under the bus, throw us under the bus while continuing to let unprecedented amount of other migrants into this country to take over your cities and the towns. And we supposed to mobilize with you, why? Because we black? Get the hell out of here, bro. Where they find him at, man? Send him back to Chicago or wherever it is that he had to focus on building his presidential library. But this is nonsense, bro. Never been so disappointed in this guy in my entire life, man.
And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at church, who is coming.
Yeah, he said barbershop. Yeah, he talking to you, Jakes. You know, Jakes are the one that go to the barbershops and, you know, sit down and talk and discuss about politics and things that are going on. Jake's the one that goes to these barbershops to seek some type of conversation amongst the people. Esau don't do that. You going to Esau's barbershop, man? They got an appointments. A lot of the time they walk in there, ain't nobody in there but the barber. They get their shit done, they up out of there. Ain't a whole bunch of Edomites just sitting around talking. Ain't no at these so-called predominantly Edomite barbershops, man. There ain't no Edomites waiting, sitting in the seats in line to get their cut, to get a haircut. That's Jake barbershops, man. You know? Predominantly these so-called Negro barbershops, man. They even made multiple movies called Barbershop. So he's talking to you so-called, he's talking to you so-called black men. He's telling you to rally up and support Kamala Harris, man. Okay? Because they're not feeling the support, they're not feeling the love, right?
That kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been in our backs this entire time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You heard that. Let's run that back.
In your house, in your family, at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Come on, man. You serious? Come on, man. All the pain and hardship that the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man have been put through off the strength of women. These women have been given, opportunity and certain benefits and certain abilities in society that completely benefits them at their own leisure, where they can split up with the man that they're with, especially under the ones who have got involved in a marriage license situation, take half of his goods, take his children, put them on child support. And a lot of these men are bitter over that, man. A lot of men are sitting in prison right now over a woman, okay? When actually the men were in the right and weren't in the wrong, okay? You got a whole lot of men that have lost their jobs, can't see their kids, have lost money over these wicked women, man. And Obama got the nerve to say, these women have backed us. He's talking to you. Remember, he's talking to you so-called black men that, the so-called black women have backed you so-called black men and have been there in your corner and have supported you through thick and thin. Come on, man. Hey, that's laughable, man. That's a laughable. That's a hey, that's a good joke. Okay.
I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Somebody read Bill.
They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength. Because
no more simping. Trump 2024. Let's
go. I want to close out on Sirach, the 13th chapter. Let's go to Sirach 13 and 15. It says, every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly. All right? These super rich people aren't concerned with the poor, man. They're not concerned, with the middle class, the poor class. They're not concerned with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But now these other nations and Edomites as well in these lower class, middle class levels, hey, they're being grouped in with you Jakes as well, man. Esau's mad out here, who makes $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 a year. He's angry with things that are going on, man. He's not feeling the love from the government. All right. It says, verse 18, what agreement is there between the hyena and a dog, and what peace between the rich and the poor? So there is no peace between the rich and the poor. It says, verse 19, as the wild ass and the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. And that's what is being done and has been what has been done in the past and is continually going on unto this day. Like we read in Sirach the 12th, Sirach the 12th chapter, man. If he have need of, if he can, matter of fact, let's get it real quick. I don't want to butcher it. It says Sirach 12 and all right, let's see. Where is that? Bear with me one moment. Okay, Sirach, it's in the same chapter that I'm in. Sirach the 13th chapter. Let's skip up a little bit to verse 3. The rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. All right. So only when it's profitable to him, when he can use you for one of his agendas, when he can use you to persuade the masses. Okay. It says, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. If thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Okay. It says, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. They're not sorry for the things and the struggles that you're going through. They're not concerned with, you Jakes are going through concerning oppression. All right. You working and slaving at these 9-to-5 jobs, inflation, the situation amongst your communities, the outstanding percentage of homelessness in the United States of America. They're not concerned with that, man. They keep talking these things like things are getting better, and we got people doing things in the community, helping with medical and how it ain't none of that shit happening when you're actually living it and feeling it and in it. And Jake is waking up to the fact to that fact. Okay, they're looking at Obama like, man, shut up. Back when Obama was on the scene running for president, everybody was looking at Obama like the savior, right? People crying when he got elected. This is gonna be the savior. He gonna change everything for the black community. What y'all saying now? Because look at the so-called black community now, man. All right, it's far worse, and it's gonna continue to get worse, man. Yahweh Shah said, "What if I come to bring peace on the earth?" Roughly paraphrase. He's not coming to bring peace, man. He's coming to bring division and a sword, man. It says, verse 6, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? Okay. Now I want to skip down to continue on in verse, let's see here. I'm going to continue on in verse 20, and I'm going to read it 24. It says, as the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. Okay? The government don't give a shit about you, man. They don't care about you at all. All right? And you're going to start seeing that more and more and more as we come down the line to the very end of this rulership and this establishment. Okay? We're entering into the times of Jacob's trouble. All hell breaking loose, man. Civil war, race wars. Okay? Esau is tightening that squeeze, and soon he's going to implement a electronic device, and he's going to, persuade the majority of the people to take it, but then he's going to push it by the way of force, okay, or more forcibly. It's going to be a mandatory, mandated status type thing. It says, verse 21, a rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but the poor man being down is thrust away by his friends. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. Okay, just because of, concerning President Obama, just because he used to be a president, his various different accolades, his achievements, okay, his notoriety, people will believe what he says no matter what he says, just off the strength of who he is. It says, we'll read that again. Sirach 13 and 22. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely and could have no place. That's right. And you could look at, the men that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai set all over the four corners of the earth that are pushing this truth, that are telling you these wise things, all right, that are speaking the words of the Lord. Our people, a lot of them look at us like, man, who are these guys, man? What kind of credentials they got? What school did you go to? What type of degrees? Who has set you out here? Why should we listen to you? You're not rich. You ain't got no money. You're not supported in this. You're not, basically set up in this society as someone to listen and learn from. Okay. If Esau, made a high level statement right now and said, hey, those men on the highways and byways, they got the truth. They're telling the truth. They've had the truth all along. A lot of Jake would believe it off the strength of what Esau says, man. You know what? That makes sense. Hey, that's deep. You know what? Those guys is, hey, man, Jake is through. Majority of our people, man, are far gone. Let's continue on. And it reads, Sirach 13, continue on in verse 22. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely, and could have no place. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. That's what you see going on right now, man. He's speaking. Everybody's sitting there with their hands, folded, shaking there, listening. Oh my God, it's President Obama. It says, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. And look, what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Riches are good unto him that hath no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. That's all I'm going to say on that video. I'll put the link in the description box as well. Lord willing, does edify. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to the head apostle, Nettles, a great millstone, rule well and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, sincere Akim, that are pushing this truth all over the four corners of the earth, week in and week out, in all truth and sincerity. To the next time, Shalom.